Claymores. Are they still viable? Are they just worse Onamushas?
Attack at will!
Today, we're gonna find out. And see if we can do these Scotsmen proud. With their big swinging swords and their fierce shout. Are they still viable? Let's find out. So these are my Claymores. We're going to have a look at the doctrines. We'll have a look at the victory line. Obviously, they're not max level. They're one off max level. But as you'll see in the victory line, that really doesn't matter past sort of 22. They're old max level. So let's have a look at the victory line. Let's see what we're going with first. We go with top line. Because you basically rely on for freedom. And that makes you easily tanky enough to survive a lot of damage. I feel like having that 15% extra damage is much better than trying to take that increased health by 2,000. It means nothing compared to 15% damage. So I would personally advise top line, but bottom line isn't unfeasible. It just doesn't really make much sense in terms of you basically won't lose many of these while for freedom's up anyway. So top line for me, extra damage. I want to kill things. So obviously we got 10% more damage on Claymore strike. We have the 15% more damage for freedom. A bit of slashing, increased movement. That's really nice. Reduced cooldown on Claymore and Highland charge. Increased slashing pen. Reduced range damage. Bit of health. And a bit of slash damage, and this is what I was talking about. You only gain 3% extra piercing, that equals 10, so those last two levels don't really matter that much, but we'll probably still end up getting them. Now, let's have a look at my doctrines. Now, there is a doctrine that's missing that I really want to put on these. It's the new combat doctrine. I really want to try it on these, but I have no resources to get my doctrine out of my Sons of Fenrir. So yeah, Lotus Water, got none of it, always run out. Need to add something to the game so we can get some of that without on a weekly cap or something, whatever. But anyway, my first doctrine, obviously piercing defense doctrine. This would be changed out. A unit damage doctrine, tier 4. The Highland Claymore, the Highlanders doctrine, Claymore strike, 5% damage increase. That's nice. Siege fighter and a epic slashing doctrine. So pretty good. I'm just very intrigued. I think this unit's going to be incredible with the combat doctrine on. An extra 11% damage for a certain amount of hits. Then a 15% heal that I think is going to be incredibly good too. On top of for freedom. And then the main thing is these guys having CC immunity for 2.5 seconds will be so good. So yeah, that's the plan with that. Another thing that's great about the Claymores is all their hidden effects that a lot of people don't actually see or know about. So we've got Battle Happy here. Each time Claymore Warrior attacks and hits an enemy, all defenses are increased by 40 points, stackable 5 times. So just makes them slightly more tanky, or quite a lot more tanky actually after a certain amount of time. Fearless Heart. When the unit uses Highland Charge or Claymore Strikes, it will get Fearless Heart effect for 5 seconds. It will ignore an extra 10% damage. Every time it attacks, it will restore 150 health for its and nearby alliance. So, yeah, that's really good helping the team. That's really nice. So good team play with this unit. Stackable up to 5 times. Also reduces the melee damage taken by 20% for 2 seconds for itself and nearby allies. Again, ridiculously good. So best used in sort of a group, of course, because you have these guys in a push. My God, you're making everybody way more tanky. Everyone's getting healing. It's just really good. This effect will become stronger when using for freedom, restoring 300 points of health and reducing melee damage taken by 35%. So that is the hidden effects behind there that is obviously really nice and That's where the team play aspect comes in. And then unity, if for some reason someone's using bagpipes, or if you're using bagpipes and you see someone using claymores, be a really good chap and use surge when you see their claymores go into sleepy mode, and you'll get rid of it. That is a cool idea, but it's annoying that you have to rely on a bagpipe player, someone playing bagpipes as a unit, to get rid of the worst debuffs ever. But just to keep in mind, if you are playing bagpipes and you see some claymores, there you go. So we're going to get in some clips, and I'll obviously commentate over the clips, and show you what these guys are about and if they are still viable or not. But before we do that, we need a little change in attire, so let's change them to how I like them, as bald-headed Channing Tatums. Much better. Much, much better. So here we go, into my first clip with the Claymores, and this is sort of just to show how much damage they can take. Full braced, we got halberdiers in the back there, and actually we're still alive. We popped for freedom, we're now putting the charge, and we're actually still picking up kills. That is very surprising considering how much stuff's there, and we have only lost one unit at this point in time. But with the key thing with Claymores is you want to have that unit out of there after 15 seconds or you'll lose it. If you get them out of there before 15 seconds is up, you should keep it. We come around the corner here. Now the way to play these is do not use the charge. Just X them in like that, pop freedom, then once they're in there, pop Claymore strike, and then use the charge as a second Claymore strike. Once they've done their 2 swings with the Claymore strike, then you can go in with charge, and that'll put out some more damage again, and then get ready to turn them round and get yourself out of combat, and you'll see them very slowly walking out. Here we come around the corner, and this just shows the power of them. They really will surprise bigger units, sort of more valuable units like Shield Maidens or Orochi Samurai. These guys are really good at taking out Orochi. But they just smash kills. They really do. But the main thing is getting them out of there. I've been having a good time with them. They are basically just more complicated and more tanky on Amusha. But when things work with them, it really works. Like here, I'm hiding up here, and a spear comes up here, drops down. He drops into some halberdiers and gets killed. And we come down and we see some men-at-arms and some shotgun pikes, and so we do Claymore strikes, and oh my god, the damage that comes out of these guys and the tankiness, not let alone the support points that you get from when you do Full Freedom, because that buffs everyone around you, and they all get about, I think it's 20% damage reduction while you do it. So it's got that benefit as well. But yeah, I've been really enjoying them. I think they've been forgotten about. I think they definitely need some changes to be properly viable. Like the cooldown on For Freedom is way too long for 15 seconds of attacking. Granted, they do a lot of damage when they go into attack. It's really quite good, and they're tanky. But one short sword knockdown or a maul knockdown, and you've basically ruined the full Freedom. So yeah, a less cooldown on that. Maybe bring it to like every 20 seconds you can use it, because you'll find I'm going to show you a full game with them in a second, with fast forward of course, but no skips, and you'll see it's painful when you have to wait for this Full Freedom to get anything in. So we pop them in here, nice little swing, and sometimes it's hit or miss, pardon the pun, because it's like you'll put them in and no damage will come up, and then suddenly they'll all get their swing off like now, and yeah, it's really strange, and I get carried off and of course into dead. So this clip's all about showing you how a hero can just completely stop this unit from doing anything. You'll see I run them basically into pikes, but with Full Freedom they're so tanky that actually if the pike's not properly set up, it does no damage to them. But the one hero that is a maul doing sort of Maelstrom or just staggering them will just completely nullify their damage. So you have to be slightly, slightly ready to sort of sneak around the back and kind of surprise attack people with these. That's why I want the combat doctrine in these so badly, because the immunity, stun immunity, will allow these guys to actually get their damage out quite nicely at the end of coming to the end of For Freedom. I just slide them over to these Janissaries right here. And when you press For Freedom, they get a hell of a speed boost, so you can surprise people with that. Go in, instantly take those out. Wasn't really a hard one to get, but just get those. And now I've got to get them out. That is, again, probably shouldn't have used For Freedom, but they're kind of useless without For Freedom. So, yeah, that is the downside. But for 15 seconds, you're awesome. And here, we're going to put them, we got them back, we're going to put them against these, I think it's a double stack of Onimusha, so we're going to see how they get on. It's going to be, it's kind of rough, but we do actually get some decent things on. I went with Claymore strikes a little too early there. I should have actually been in combat. And again, the Maul is doing a great job at staggering them. That means I can't get the damage out. And I get Longbowed. Great. Fantastic. And so this is the full game. So this is what I wanted to go through to show you kind of the annoying playstyle of them, in terms of having to basically hide for after combat. So we've got everything running, 15, we got our For Freedom going, so we got our extra buffs and stuff with a group. Obviously, while we're pushing, my unit is buffing everything. I think it's for like 2 or 3 seconds that they get 20% damage reduction. That actually is really nice if you get a good kind of hit on people. So, yeah, this is sort of what goes on while you're waiting for your cooldowns. You're just stuck, sitting, waiting for that to come off cooldown, and then you're off to find combat again. It's this is kind of why I was talking about, like, I really would love them just to reduce that cooldown to 20 seconds or something like that. Even if you have to reduce the power of it, I just love using Claymores, because who doesn't want to use a unit that is two-handed sword? It's so nice. And I mean, we're probably going to have one in the next season, let's be honest, if it's not a hero class. Or a hero weapon, that is. But for now, I would, obviously want to be using Claymores. I'm just looking at engagements. I'm picking my engagements as well, because I need them to be able to kill everything within 15 seconds and get them out of there. So I can't go too far away from my team, because otherwise me trying to drag them back while they go into sleepy mode. And that's another thing. Sleepy mode, actually, if we were buffing these, reduce cooldown on For Freedom, and the slow on sleepy mode needs to be gone. That right there is horrendous. And then back into fast mode, because waiting for Freedom to come back. This was sort of my spot. I was just sort of leaving them there, and then like For Freedom's not off cooldown, I can't really do anything, and we've got it back, and I'm now looking to go and sort of flank them around the back, but then obviously decide against it. And we see them all pushing up here. I was waiting for they had walking pikes, so I was just waiting for their walking pikes to finish, because that will destroy this unit. They will not be able to get back up. And now we're just going to do a little push. We're going to X them over there. Click For Freedom. Click Claymore strikes, and we should get a good amount of damage out. As I said, initially sometimes it doesn't hit that hard, but that's probably me clicking Claymore strike a little bit too early. You want to make sure they're directly on top, because Claymore strike will just happen when you press Claymore strike. They won't move forward and then do it to the closest enemy. They'll just do it. So that's something to keep in mind when you're Xing them into a target. And then obviously with For Freedom, when you do Claymore strike, that will knock enemies back. That's nice. So up here, this is where we see the end of them. These Onimusha, we're going to go up against them, and we pop For Freedom, we pop Claymore strike. Again, probably too early with Claymore strike, but the Onimusha obviously have the advantage of just spamming and healing at the same time. I'm not sure if these ones that have the healing ones or if they're the double block break, but it's a pretty fair trade, but unfortunately the Onimusha come out on top. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We got 50 kills, but 400 unit kill score. So they really pay their way when it comes to that. But loving them. And yeah, hope you enjoyed, guys. If you like this content, would really appreciate the sub. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.